Hey, it's your friend Mike O'Neill, the new My 97.5 for the Mike and Mike's Off-Air podcast.
Mike Pesto here as well. Thank you for watching if you are doing that. If not, well, you really should. I mean, we have fun with the videos. And, of course, on YouTube, like and subscribe. On our socials, like and subscribe. On our website, you don't have to like or subscribe. You just get to my975fm.com. We have it all there for you. So I talked about this morning. Harry Styles.
Okay.
You're familiar with him. I mean, not personally, but...
I know his new album just came out.
Yeah, well, it's about to. New song came out, I think, last week Friday. New album coming out shortly. Has a huge tour.
We just added the new song on our other station.
Yeah, Together is the name of the tour. And by huge, not a lot of dates yet. Huge as far as the price tag.
And huge as far as every place but the U.S. except
no.
one show.
Madison Square, well, that's what I mean. Very limited early on. He's playing a bunch of dates in Wembley. In fact, he's setting the record for a solo artist for the most dates for a solo artist in one tour. And then he's playing a bunch of dates in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing this is going to be the kickoff, and then he'll have a whole bunch of more dates after this. But on Ticketmaster, so this is the site to go to. You can't go to the box office to get tickets. This is, face value. Started at $50. Okay, that sounds about right. That's nice. Only a handful of those. Tickets went up to, again, face value, a shade under $1,200.
Mike, honestly, in so many cases, I really can't afford or don't want to afford, even if I could, to go to see a lot of concerts now. Somebody said the other day that a local country artist is coming around, I think, to Mid-State, and I heard tickets were up $600, $700, $800. And I'm like, because we had tentatively talked about it. I called my wife and goes, hey, guess what concert we're not going to see? And she said, why? And I said, why? And she said, oh, yeah, we're not. But dang.
It's ridiculous. So apparently word got back to Harry Styles that you're pricing some of your hardcore fans out of seeing you. This is what he posted on his official account on X.
I'm afraid.
It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. And yes, he said it 3 times, both times. We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag.
I'll take oxymorons for $200, Alex. How can you...
How about you forget about the price tag, Harry? I mean,
realize
not all of your fans are multimillionaires. First of all, if you want to see them, you got to get to New York City.
Yeah, hi.
So that's going to cost you. And you got to stay in New York City. And now you got to pay $700, $800, $900, $1,100 for one ticket?
Now, keep in mind, these guys, in a lot of cases, have their own planes and are used to jet setting all over the place. I haven't flown in an airplane, Michael, in the last 7 years. And that wouldn't even occur to me. Oh, honey, we just have to fly to New York. Then we can see the show. Those words have never come out of my mouth.
The first thing that crossed my mind, I mentioned this when I talked about this on the air with The Dirt this morning, is he trying to get into Taylor Swift, Beyonce, I'm a billionaire territory in one tour? Because that's what it seems like he's trying to do. And again, outpricing his fans. He's only had one major tour in his life, which was his last one 2-3 years or so ago. Harry, what the hell are you doing?
I know, because and he's not but he's not a Beyonce. Beyonce has how many albums?
Exactly.
She has a legacy portfolio.
Yes.
That's why you go see Beyonce. Harry's out on his own after a One Direction successful run.
Yeah, so good luck with those ticket prices, Harry. And again, be cognizant of your fans. That's all I ask. Speaking of being cognizant of something, today is the 40th anniversary of the disaster. The Space Shuttle Challenger exploded on national TV because of the teacher that was on board. And there's a post up on our Facebook page if you care to weigh in on it, because especially with our listeners and the age range that we know that we all are, because we're all in that age bracket, because we love this music, we grew up with it. We remember that day. We remember where we were. There are a handful of things that happened nationally, worldwide, that you can say exactly where you were and what you were doing. Where were you when you found out about this?
I was literally watching the launch on TV. And there's a reason for that. First of all, I was living in Lompoc, California, working for a radio station there in Santa Maria, and my wife's father, my father-in-law, was a level 6 engineer for Martin Marietta. Martin Marietta and so many of the other companies like that had been feverishly working to launch Slick 6. It was being tentatively called Spaceport West at the time, where we were going to start shooting the space shuttle up from. The moment of the explosion, as soon as we knew the explosion happened, my father-in-law, a real man's man, he didn't cry very often, called us on the phone in tears and said, "That's it. That's the end of Spaceport West. Watch. Just wait." And within an hour or two, that was literally announced. And so it changed his life. I mean, this had been his dream to get this thing happening. And boom, over in a moment.
And an explosion.
And I mean, and I haven't even spoken to the lives lost and the horror of it.
Because you had a teacher on board, many schools, I dare say most schools across the country, had the launch on. At the school that I was going to at the time, Marion Central Catholic High School in Woodstock, Illinois.
And that was a safe bet, Mike.
Yeah, it was on in the library. And I remember, I don't know why I remember this so distinctly. I remember walking past the library. I had a hall pass for some reason. That I don't remember. But I saw everyone gathered around the TV watching the launch. And I remember thinking, oh, I'm missing it. But yeah, I got to get to wherever I'm going. And I got to where I was going, and I sat down. And then the announcement came over the PA system to explain what everyone in the library had just seen happen live. And we were told about what happened. Then when we got home, obviously this was years before YouTube or anything like that. You couldn't stream it. You had to wait till the national news outlets, NBC, ABC, CBS, they played it back. So I saw it after the fact. And now, obviously, you can watch videos and see it again if you care to relive that moment on YouTube. And again, we do have a post up on our Facebook page. And you could comment here on the video on YouTube as well if you want to let us know where you were and how it affected you.
You know, and to NASA's credit, honestly, Michael, it makes sense that you wouldn't have stopped because they have a really good track record from beginning to end. There were very, very precious few, Apollo 13, the fire in the first Apollo capsule, or the Challenger. I think those are them. Aside from that, we've had multiple moon launches and landings.
Yeah, and then obviously Apollo 13, where tragedy was avoided and very well done in the movie. Yeah,
so they have a good track record. So it wasn't surprising that you walked on by.
Yeah, when I saw it this morning, I'm like, okay, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because it is a little heavy, but I do know that it is on a lot of people's minds, so that's why we had the post up on our Facebook page. One last thing to kind of end, a little fun with this one. And you can get this video also online at my975fm.com if you have Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And if you don't, on ABC 30, coming up Wednesday night, I think it is February 4th, you can actually check out the return of The Muppet Show. And if you've missed the teaser trailer, here's a little taste of it for you.
We are so excited to be back where it all started and then ended and then is maybe starting again depending on how tonight goes.
I've been burned before.
It's The Muppet Show!
And it starts right now!
Maybe we're a little rusty.
All right, so if you want to see the whole thing again, that's up on our Facebook, actually on my975fm.com. But it got me to thinking, with The Muppet Show coming back, what other shows, comedies, dramas, what have you, do you really think should come back now that would honestly do really well in 2026?
Well, I think my favorite drama last year, Michael, was the Dodgers winning the World Series, and I'd love to see that again. That's not what
I know you want to bring that back.
You're looking for. Okay.
No.
Well, I do actually have an answer. I
Okay.
do actually have an answer. And I know it's kind of I'm almost 68 and it was a different season in my life. But Thursday night I really got a kick out of I remember watching it with my ex-wife at the time. I loved Miami Vice into Knight Rider. I would love to see
That was the combination. I see. I don't remember.
I do
it
remember
back to
that.
back like that. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it was Those were fun, mindless, fun shows. Kind of like Battlestar Galactica. That was kind of a cute, fun show to watch. I don't want that one back, though. Star Trek's just fine for me. How about you?
You mentioned one just now that, not that one, but one that kind of jogged my memory. I don't know how they would do it now, but Buck Rogers. Beady. Hey, Buck. I mean, I loved that show. And trying to think in the, early 80s, what things would have been like in 2030. I don't even know how far in the future it was set, but that was the perfect mix of kind of sci-fi and campy at the same time, especially with
huge campy.
I forget the name of the robot, but
Yeah.
But the back-to-back that I remember was Love Boat and then Fantasy Island.
Oh, man.
I don't know about bringing Love Boat back.
No.
But they tried with Fantasy Island. They blew it, though. They brought Fantasy Island back, I want to say 5-6 years or so ago, and they set it on an island again, and it just didn't work for a bunch of reasons. You have to go back and watch and just see how convoluted it got.
What was it that really set you off about it?
It had too many things that referenced previous episodes. The one thing that was great about Fantasy Island, it was truly an episode-to-episode watch, like Love Boat was. It was all about the ensemble cast. And they lost some of that they turned it into something that you had to watch one episode to get the next one, to get the next one, to get the next one. And
almost soap opera-y.
yeah, and I didn't like. Originally, from what I read, though, the premise was it's supposed to be set in San Francisco in the world of virtual reality. And you can even tie in AI now if you did it in 2026, where people would go to this business and say, I want to go on a vacation. I want to go to a fantasy island. And maybe the name of the business is Fantasy Island. And you can go there and your wildest dreams can come true while you're there in their office with the virtual headset and the sensory deprivation chamber, whatever it is. And again, you take it episode to episode. It can get into different aspects of the morality of doing that and planting images in your mind as opposed to actually having experiences. I would have loved that twist on it.
Well, speaking of Star Trek, I mentioned earlier, that's kind of like the holodeck on all of the Star Trek spaceships. You go in, you can literally program it, and you're in Tahiti.
Okay.
And Tahitian barmaids come out and serve you, and it could get as wild and or just peaceful or crazy as not. All of a sudden, you're on the Rams and you're playing the game.
There was, and as you're saying that, there was a show that was on, was it Nickelodeon or Disney a while back? I think it was called The Jersey. If someone remembers, please correct me, because I remember my kids used to watch this. It was something to that effect where this magical jersey you would put on.
Oh, no.
And then you would actually be in the mind space of a pro athlete in the middle of whatever it was. I remember there's one episode in particular. They put a hockey sweater on, and it actually is called a sweater. And suddenly the kid was in the body of the goalie with the Stanley Cup game playing, and he had to do all the saves and everything else. And then we were talking about this yesterday. Truth be told, this is the second time we've done this podcast. We had some technical issues yesterday. We were talking about the movie that kind of paralleled the whole, if you do the Fantasy Island thing, Total Recall.
Yes.
That was the kind of the premise of it, of planting those things in your head and make you feel as though you're actually living that experience. And that's another great angle that they could have taken with it, is to have someone have a meltdown like that, where they start blurring the line between what is in my head that I paid for an experience and what is actually now real in my life.
And I loved the crazy faces that they made while they were remembering it. And anyway, that was a crazy movie unto itself.
But it is amazing, though, how few shows, if you really think about it, would translate well in 2026. I think we could all think of movies. Blazing Saddles comes to mind. That could never be made in 2026.
And I love this movie, and I'll watch it this Christmas. But the Christmas Story,
Yeah.
fa-ra-ra-ra-ra, ra-ra. If I did that in front of my girls today as if it was my sense of humor, both of my girls would be like, Dad, you can't say that. You can't say that. Well, I could in 1960.
And that's
And it was
where it was set.
and it was innocuous then.
Yeah.
Today it's bro. And so
If there are any shows you can think of that you honestly think would translate well for all of us in 2026, comment and let us know.
I picked the Dodgers winning the World Series.
Again and again he does.